it this way. There are books and there are books. Now as my own editor and publisher, being an editor and publisher myself, there are books which from the first line itself, they hit you between the eyes, right here, and you know you can't put the book down. This is one such book. It is as addictive as Gutka. The same Gutka that Leela is addicted to in the book. The character of Leela, this is not Chandni Bar. It goes way, way, way beyond Chandni Bar. It's got a visceral, almost vicious feel to it in parts. At other times, it's vulnerable, heartbreakingly so. And Leela's character is not just poignant, I mean, especially the last bit, the last line, I won't spoil it for you. It's heartbreaking. She's fearless. She's fearless and brave and just adorable. Adorable. And it needs a very gifted writer, a very committed writer, and a writer with enormous sensitivity to understand the world that Leela occupies. Leela, Ghazala, so many Barbie, I love Barbie in the book. I mean, just characters. The women, of course, dominate the book totally. The men are incidental, they're small players, and it really doesn't matter, they're interchangeable. And it's a book that is so visual. I don't know whether there can be another version of Barber's story, but if there is to be one seminal, one definitive one, it should really be Leela's story. Because it tells the story, it tells about the tragedy, the pathos of their lives in a way that is so moving and so vivid. I could feel myself with you in those brothels, with the hijras, with Leela's mother, the tantalizing Apsara, wonderful character. And through that entire journey, you were there almost like holding Leela's hand. And there is such deep love and there is such complete understanding of the character. And an enormous fondness and love that seems to grow between you, which goes beyond just best friends for life. And every cliche that you can imagine just is tossed out of the window. And when I finished reading it, I said to myself, she really doesn't need these endorsements. She doesn't need a Dalrymple or anyone to talk about what a terrific book she's written. I mean, it's a book that speaks for itself. And it's from the very first line that you just get into Leela's world. And that, I believe, is the hallmark of good writing. And I used to read Sonia's work when she was writing for Tehka, and always admired her as a writer, a very courageous writer, but more than just courage, a very talented writer, a natural writer. She has a ear for dialogue. It's almost, it's unfailingly authentic. You can hear those women when they're talking. The abuses are never out of place. She's got the Bombaya lingo, the slang, the jargon of the brothels, and there's not a false note in the book, and that's really what defines a very, very felt experience. So with that introduction, I don't even have to hard sell the book, Sonia. It doesn't need it. It's going to sell anyway, because anybody who's interested in knowing about what happened to the bar girls in 2005 and a decision that we still await in 2010, their fates overnight, everything changed for them, and everything in a way changed for the city. And this is not just a story of Leela the bar girl, it's also a story of Mumbai, with many, many subtexts in it, subtexts about how a politician can change the character of a city only because he is in a position to do so. So within Leela's story are many stories, all of them very intriguing and also very disturbing. And I'd like to invite Sonia to read a passage or two from A Beautiful Thing to give you a flavor of what it's about.